Hey, it's Pastor David. I'm here with our Thursday at 3 update. And today, rather than update, I invite you to join a connection group for our upcoming sermon series on the book of Revelation. And I invite you to do that for two very intentional reasons. And the first is that being a part of a smaller connection group is vital for our walk as a disciple of Jesus Christ. That it helps bring a vitality, a deeper passion, and a longevity to being a follower of Jesus. And second, the book of Revelation, though we often turn away from it because of misuse or bad messages about it, actually has a lot of very important things to say to us as a church family and as individual disciples. So I invite you to join a connect group during our upcoming series on Revelation. First, I invite you to join us because it is vital to your walk as a disciple of Jesus Christ. You know, coming to worship on Sunday morning is powerful. It's important. It helps feed us. It helps to build the body. It's a wonderful time of worship and recalibration. But as powerful as it is, if it is the only thing we do in our own faith practice, over time, it will not sustain us. It will not allow us to go deeper, to get into the nuts and bolts of what it means to follow Jesus and to take on the image of Jesus, or the image of Christ, which is what we're called to do. It will not allow us to really get into the difficult relationship building that it takes to love mercy and seek justice and walk humbly with God. So, you know, I've seen this over the years. I've seen people come to church and that be the mainstay of their faith practice. And eventually they fade away to the side because you need this opportunity to dig into a deeper level. This week in my Tuesday night group, I likened it to playing volleyball as an individual versus playing volleyball as a team, or playing soccer as an individual, or as a team, or playing football as an individual, or as a team. I can play volleyball by myself, hit the ball up in the air, but eventually that passion for that is going to fade. It's just not going to sustain my interest over time. But on a team, there's camaraderie, there's a shared goal, there's excitement that feeds off each other. There's a chance to encourage one another when we're down or struggle. There's this sense of belonging. And the same is true for us as disciples. I can come and I can sit in the back of the sanctuary and I can leave and have a good time of worship, but eventually that is not going to sustain my passion. I need to be a part of a smaller, more manageable team. And this is exactly where connection groups come in. They allow us to be in conversation with others, to be in that relationship that's required to live out our faith, to really be a mirror for each other and to encourage each other in those moments. Now, I saw this week in a quote that I shared with our study, and I want to share it with you. It's from John Wesley, the founding father of the Methodist movement. And he writes in August 25th, 1763, I'm more convinced than ever that the preaching like an apostle, without joining together those that are awakened and training them up in the ways of God, is only begetting children for the murderer. How much preaching has there been for these 20 years all over Pembrokeshire, that's in Wales, but no regular societies, that is no small connection groups, no gathering together, no discipline, no order or connection. And the consequence is that 9 in 10 of the once awakened, that is those who were once walking with God, are now faster asleep than ever. That is that without this life of shared journey, without this life of connection, all the preaching in the world is going to lose its passion. It's going to lose its steam. And consequently, we become more or less aware, of God than even when we begun. In so many words, we inoculate ourselves against what it really means to be a disciple. So join a connection group for the sake of your own spiritual faith, walk, and practice in Jesus Christ. Second, join a connection group for our upcoming series because Revelation has a lot to say to us as a church family and to us as individual believers. Now we know that the book of Revelation, written nearly 2,000 years ago, was not written with us in mind. It was written by a specific pastor, John, to specific churches at a specific time, to churches in what is now Turkey near the end of the 1st century, 70 years or so after Jesus. That was the audience. We're in essence reading somebody else's mail. And so it's important that we get some context. And we know that in that context, the church is struggling with the worship of the emperor, the conquest of Rome, ruling the world, emperors demanding to be seen as God, and how society, even to participate in society, one had to recognize Caesar as God, or you had to make an offering or sacrifice to that point. And so there was a real temptation and pull just to be able to be accepted in society, for the church to accommodate and to compromise with culture. And one of the things we find in the book of Revelation is this struggle and this call to persevere in the face of accommodation or compromise. And it naturally leads to the question, which we need to think about. Where is the church today compromising with culture? It's a loaded question. What does it mean to compromise, and should it be held apart? Some parts of the church have completely removed themselves, and some parts have completely immersed themselves. And we have to find that kind of line between being relevant but not becoming equal to, be in the world but not of the world. And what does that mean for a very relevant conversation for us in 21st century America? This week, we also, in our letter to the book, to the church at Ephesus, the first letter in the book, we find that Ephesus has persevered, but it has lost its passion for God. It is not for them a practice of right beliefs. They have the right beliefs, but a matter of right practice, and particularly right practice in the way they love each other and love God, the 2 commandments that are tied together. And we have an opportunity to examine that and go back to Wesley's quote when he says, look, if you pull the logs out and make them individual logs in the fire is going to go out. You've got to build around it a structure, a practice, a way of being together for that passion for God and living out the godly life to be sustained. So join a connection group for this upcoming series, not just for the sake of your own journey as a disciple, but for the opportunity to discuss some very relevant things for our faith as a family and as individuals. Currently, there are over 80 people signed up to be in these groups to go through Revelation. That's about a fifth of our Sunday morning in-person attendance. There's about 45 on Tuesday night, and then we have 15 to 20 Sunday night, another 20, 25 on Sunday morning. And there's room for more, particularly on Sunday mornings or Sunday night. You would be welcome. And if you'd like to be a part of that, simply contact me. You can do that through the church website, or just come and we'll have groups ready for you to go to on Sunday morning to help go through this. And so I look forward to being with you. Look forward to going through the book of Revelation. It's going to challenge us and get us to think. It's going to draw us closer together. And so I'll see you in church on Sunday. God bless.